A win is a win, right? Okay. I'm going to sit down for a sec. I'm not too freaked out. I'm not too worried, and I'm not too upset about how the game went tonight because no matter what, we got the win. And I didn't think it was going to be easy. I didn't think we were going to blow the team out of the water. I had like a 10-point victory. 25-20 was the final score. The Eagles managed to beat the Patriots. It was first quarter was great. You know, you had the pick six, you had the fumble on Zeke, and then you had a good first drive that just didn't result in a touchdown. But then after that, completely radio silent in the second quarter. Bill Belichick made a lot of good adjustments in that second quarter, brought the Pats right back into it, and then the third quarter came around and the Eagles looked like they figured it out a little bit. They got a few stops on defense, managed to get a few field goals, but weren't able to punch it into the end zone, which was a little bit of a little bit of, got us worrying a little bit. But here's the thing. I saw a really good comment on social media about this, but last year we played the Lions week 1, and last year we knew that the Lions had a good offense, but the defense was very, very, very bad, especially in those first 8 weeks of football. We scored 38, which was great, but we also allowed them to score 35 points on us and almost win the game. So the defense has always had some bit of a vulnerability, and the defensive line didn't hit home all the time. They did get a few sacks at the end of the game when it needed to. Fletcher Cox, Nakobe Dean, and James Bradbury all left at certain points with injuries. Nakobe Dean had a foot injury. Fletcher Cox, I don't know. I don't think we know just yet. It'll look like it might have been either head, neck, or chest, but he was on the ground for a little while. He ended up walking up and off to the sideline under his own power. And then James Bradbury had some blood on his mouthpiece. It looked like he might have gotten hit in the face or something. I don't know. I don't know. But either way, those three went out with injuries. Outside of that, everyone else was fine. My biggest area of concern on both sides. Defense is the middle of the field. I feel like the linebackers are young and inexperienced, and I feel like the safeties are the same way, and it shows. James Bradbury didn't have that great of a game. Darius Slay had the pick six, and outside of that, he had maybe one or two bad plays, like the touchdown in the fourth quarter when they just marched right down the field. But outside of that, defense wasn't great, but it could have been way worse. And I feel like we did a good job at stopping the run game from opening things up. It was just against the pass up the middle of the field. We just could not. We had no answer for it. They utilized their tight end Hunter Henry and someone else from, like, I think Gesicki, former Dolphins tight end. They used those two guys really, really well. That guy number 84, Bourne, really good speed, and Ezekiel Elliott did manage to open things up later in the game with like screenplays, and same with the other guy that I think is Stevenson, who couldn't really open things up himself in the first half. But we stopped the run pretty well. We were able to do that. It was just against the pass, specifically up the middle. We struggled a lot. On the offensive side, the Patriots were very, very aggressive, and we didn't catch on to that in the second quarter whatsoever, but they were blitzing almost every single down. And whenever we dropped back, Hurts, because it's RPO, it's shotgun play, Hurts really wasn't able to do a whole lot. What he was able to, though, he did make some good throws. They had that one throw to A.J. Brown in the fourth quarter that got called back, and if that stood as a catch, which it's tough to say that's not a catch as an Eagles fan, but I understand it was the double clutch rule, but still, man, you don't let that, you hold on to that. That whole fourth quarter might have been way, way different, so it's a shame. But I feel like Hurts through the air never looked too comfortable today, and that's kudos to Bill Belichick in that pass rush. I feel like the offensive line had a pretty subpar game, especially Lane Johnson. I was very surprised to see him getting beat on the right side a lot in this game. And obviously Jalen Hurts had that fumble in the fourth quarter that quarterback draw that was very, very, that was gut-wrenching to see. Flashbacks to when, but still, it was just, you don't see him do that often, especially when he's running with the football. You never see that happen. And he got hit hard, and it just popped right out. Defense managed to bail him out twice, and we won the game, so that's all that matters. But there were a few things like that just weren't things I wanted to see happen. The fumble, the offensive line struggling. I was really surprised at the lack of DeAndre Swift usage. I don't understand why we weren't utilizing him and his ability to catch out of the backfield and to just run right up the middle, more, especially with Rashad Penny not being active. It would have made more sense to see him play, but we didn't see him do much whatsoever. And same goes for Dallas Goedert. He did not. He maybe had like 1 or 2 passes thrown to him, but he had no catches, barely any targets whatsoever. We did not get him involved, and that I feel like is also a big root of the problem. Devontae Smith and what's his guy, AJ Brown? I can't think. I'm sorry. Those two, when they got the ball in their hands, they made plays. Quez Watkins had a few catches, but outside of that, there wasn't really much else happening. So I really want to see that get changed. They did make adjustments, and outside of the scoring drives, the Eagles defensively were pretty okay. It was not the greatest performance overall, but yeah, it was just very ugly game. Clearly, you can clearly see the rust on this team because of not playing in the preseason, and you're seeing players like J.K. Dobbins go down with Achilles tears and things like that. You're seeing a lot of injuries continue to happen. That just shows how important preseason is, and maybe people should reconsider, or coaches and staff should reconsider having their players play through preseason at least a little bit to warm up to football, because the Eagles today were very out of sorts, very uncomfortable, and they were getting overpowered a lot more than I thought they would ever. I knew the Patriots weren't going to be an easy win. I knew that for a fact, but I didn't expect us to struggle so much with such little things, and such things that we had so much success with that we're really good at, like quarterback draws and things like that. So we play the Vikings on Thursday. We're going to push this right in the back of our heads, obviously. We're not going to talk about this game too much. Now that it's over and done with, we got the win. Wasn't pretty, but not all wins are pretty. Not all wins are easy. But no wins are easy in the NFL, no matter what people say. So hopefully they can tune things up. We have a short week. We're coming back home to play the Minnesota Vikings. So hopefully they can figure things out before then. I believe they can, and I believe they will. I think week 1 is always going to be sloppy. There was a lot of sloppy games this week. Cardinals almost beat the Commanders. The Seahawks got blown out by the Rams. The Bears got blown out by the Packers. The Buccaneers actually beat the Vikings. I predicted that. I was so surprised. A lot of crazy things happened, and that's not even mentioning the Chiefs losing. So, yeah, this is the way the NFL goes. This was not a pretty week for a lot of teams, ourselves included. Let's get back to it at week 2 and, tune things up. And I'll talk more about the Eagles and the Vikings tomorrow, Wednesday. Definitely Wednesday, obviously, since we play on Thursday night. So I'll see you all then. Let me know how you feel about the Eagles game in the comments down below. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to get, crazy loud or anything about how this game went, because at the end of the day, we won the game. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't the way we wanted it to go out. But listen, outside of maybe the Bears last year, we didn't have many ugly losses like this. And the Colts, they're there. They happen. You have teams that you don't think would beat you that sneak up from behind and put you in a chokehold, and you have to fight your way out of it. And you got to manage everything and make adjustments properly. And the Eagles struggled to do that today against a really well-coached team in Bill O'Brien's offense and Bill Belichick's defense. So, yeah, it's just the way it goes. Mad respect to them, because that's a good, well-coached team, and they have a lot of upside. And I actually personally might have underestimated them going into the season. They might actually be trouble for some teams with the way that defense was consistently putting pressure on our team, and how their offense managed to operate pretty well. So kudos to them. At the end of the day, we got the dub. That's all that matters. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I'll see you all Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll see me all week this week. Let me know how you feel in the comments down below. Like and subscribe and all of that. Fly Eagles fly. 1-0. That's all that matters. What are we this week? We're 1-0. Moving into Tuesday, got to go 1-0 again. That's all that matters. Fly Eagles fly.